got married in 2017.
Bad 2017,
After
you remember?
Banky disturbed my life, and I was like, okay, fine, let's marry.
Yes.
So we got married in 2017, and we had planned our lives out. We had talked about it, and we're like, this is what is going to happen. Bam, 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 it's going to happen. We're going to be so busy. Might as well just get the children out of the way. Let's do it now, and just, let it come through. And then nothing happened. And then you try, and nothing happened. And I remember having a conversation with Banky, and I was like, let's go do IVF. And Banky was like, calm down. It hasn't even been a year. Give it a year. So a year came when it was 11 months and a couple of days. I was like, hey, how far? So it's been a year. Let's go try IVF. And we prayed about it. We did pray. And by the grace of God, still, we did get pregnant. And we got pregnant with twins.
But before we touch on that, I want you, if I can ask you a question.
Sure.
So in that first year, talk to us about dealing with disappointment.
Oh, right. Okay.
Every month.
Okay, so it was like a monthly disappointment. And anyone would tell you that when you want a child, even 1 month or 2 months seems like such a long time. Talk less of people that have waited for years and years. So it was constant disappointment. And trying to stay in the place of faith. And knowing that you serve a God that doesn't lie. And knowing that you serve a God that can do it. But for some reason, he's just really kind of slow, in your opinion. And it was really, really tough. And I'm really grateful for Banky because he always called me back. And also dealing with pressure that you put on yourself. And dealing with pressure that is external. We got pregnant with our son after 2.5 years, and I can tell you that every single day of those 2.5 years, someone trolled me. Every day. I couldn't have an opinion without someone saying, go and born. I couldn't say anything without someone saying, get out, go and have a child, you are barren. You did something with your womb. I heard all sorts, and every single time I heard that, I just went back to God and I said, Father Lord, they know I serve you. So they are mocking you, not me. And I remember feeling like, I don't know why you're not coming through, because these people are watching. They know it's you I serve. I haven't done anything wrong. Why?
Okay, and so we finally, at the end of the year, we said, okay, we found a good place that had a track record of success.
Yeah.
And we started the IVF process.
Yes.
So how was that?
First of all, I'd like to give a huge shout out to every single woman that has gone through IVF. I know what you have gone through. I have veins in my hands that no longer work. They're so traumatized that you can't get blood out of them. IVF is a very, very tasking thing, emotionally, physically, on your body, mentally. It is very, very...
We got pregnant.
So we got pregnant, and we got pregnant with twins. And we had gone for the scans. We had seen the heartbeats. At this point, actually, very, very few people know when this happened. Every report that you have heard is a lie, because nobody knew when it happened. And we saw the heartbeats. Everything was okay. And then during a routine checkup, we went back to the hospital to have a scan. And I just saw the doctor's face. You know when a doctor, I don't know how to explain it. When something is wrong, sometimes you can tell. And she was scanning, and I was like, what's wrong? She was like, oh, nothing, I'm just, And then I looked at the nurse's face, and she looked a bit funny too. And I was like, what's wrong? She was like, Adesua, I'm looking for the heartbeat. And I said, for 2 of them? And she said, yes. And I'm actually not going to lie, I started laughing because it didn't make any sense to me. I was just like, what do you mean you can't find the heartbeats of both? And she said, yeah. So
we...
I went home. Banky wasn't home at the time. So I went home, and I remember being in our living room. When I was at the hospital, I actually laughed. I was like, God knows. God knows. Then when I got home, I literally collapsed on the floor and I wailed. Wailing is not the same thing as crying. Wailing is a deep groaning in your chest. It's like a knot that you can't. So we decided that over the weekend we were going to pray, because God is a God that cannot do. There's nothing he cannot do. Impossible is nothing with him. So we're going to go back on Tuesday or Monday, I forget now, for a scan, believing that God will come through.
And Monday or Tuesday rolled around and we went back for the scan. And not only did we not see heartbeats, the embryos were shrinking. So they were decaying and they were dying. This was towards the end of the first trimester. And it was a tough time. And you know, like she said, your head starts turning that, you know, but I love you. And when we found out that we were losing them and that we had to do an evacuation, it was a very emotional time, and she cried. And you know, as a man, you think first of all, women are stronger than men. Let me just tell you that crying is not a sign of weakness. But as a man, you know, you have been raised to be like, oh, you have to be the man, you have to be strong, you know, you can't shed a tear. So, you know, she's feeling a certain way, she's crying, and I'm trying to be there for her, and I'm just, you know, holding her and saying, it's going to be okay, it's okay. But the day that we cried together was the day of the evacuation. An evacuation, for people that don't know, is when they remove the dead embryos. And we go to the hospital, we do the procedure, and Adesua is one of the strongest people that I know. But I had never seen her so frail and in so much pain, emotional and physical. And you know, for somebody like me, whose love language is acts of service, is helping, is fixing the problem, there was absolutely nothing I could do at that time. And we came home from the hospital, and I remember I led her up the stairs, and we got into the couch, and I held her in my arms, and we cried. And I'll say it again, it's okay to cry. Amen? It's okay to serve God and cry.
We did another round of IVF because we still had embryos. Mm-hmm. So this was our second try. There's a picture that circulates where I'm with tools, and it shows my belly a bit bloated. People were saying I was pregnant. I wasn't. I was going through IVF, so I was bloated, and it was really, really, really tough. It was a really tough period. And guess what? It actually did not work. It didn't even work at all. It wasn't like the first time where there was a glimmer of hope. This one did not even work at all.
Nothing.
And I remember just feeling disappointed again. Both of us were quite disappointed. But
talk to us about what the doctors were saying.
Oh yeah. The doctors said
PCOS.
They said that I had PCOS. That's polycystic ovarian syndrome. They also said that his morphology.
My sperm, you can say it when my sperm morphology was not off. Right, was off.
They said my ovarian reserve was too high. Then I prayed for healing. Then my ovarian reserve came to the normal place that it should be. Then the doctors were worried that because it moved too quickly.
Too fast.
They were not like, maybe you are losing all your eggs. Let's remove them. Maybe you're going into early menopause. Then at that point, we're just like, I'm not doing it again. Because after the third time, we just stopped where we were, and I was just like, I'm not taking one single pill. I'm not taking one single injection. I'm not doing anything anymore. I am done.
And we got to that place, and we had that conversation. Yeah. And we said, listen,
not doing anything.
Baby, we're not going.
I'm happy. If God gives me a child, praise Jesus. If he doesn't, there must be something else that he's planning. I am not doing anything anymore.